From a doomed planet in a distant galaxy to a fantastic underground hideaway. From the Fortress of Solitude to the bustling city moon of the Daily Planet. Look, up on the screen. It's Superman. Superman, the movie.
Nobody does it better than Earth.
Nobody does it better. Hertz leads the others by far. Nobody does it best of all. You Hertz, the superstar.
Nobody has more of what it takes to reach your
We know that we don't know more
Mustang,
right?
LTD, or other fine car faster.
Hertz, the superstar.
Ooh, that hurts. Well, I hope you sort of enjoyed that commercial. This movie was in 1978, so this is the first commercial that popped up. And yes, he was in commercials back then, but just to let everybody know, Hertz didn't dump him. The second all those little scandals came out.
Scandal? You call that a scandal? He killed two people.
I wonder if that's the way he ran after he got done doing it too. I wonder if he jumped over the fence just like he did in that commercial. Well, we will.
Probably.
I wonder if that's in his book. So, anyways, so yes, this is what in 1978 he was a big deal, and Hertz. Yes, they did have him as their spokesperson, but like I said, that obviously ended in 1994. So don't punish the Hertz Arena that is in Fort Myers. No, it's not.
Astro.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's an Astro. Sorry, it's
Oh no, we ain't
close.
going there, so it's okay.
Oh, for God's sakes!
No more Everblade games for you.
No more Everblade games. And other little announcements here. Chip Roach is now officially engaged to be married to the wonderful bride to be that's holding up the camera and not loving the commercial that I picked out. So I guess we are going right to the Superman review, and we will end with the whole OJ commercial, which probably won't be real popular on the channel either. So I might be taking some backlash from this. So
Good,
please,
you deserve it.
so please comment. I just figured I would just take a stab at it. So I will.
That's not funny.
Oh, come on. It was just a little
Not
joke
funny.
there. Oh yeah, that's why you're laughing. So back to
What is that?
trust me, she's turning as red as the killer tomato that was showed in one of my shorts. So I will. So back to the review of the 1978 Superman starring Christopher Reeve. And Superman, who was played by the late Christopher Reeve. He was also in obviously Superman 2, Superman 3, Superman 4. I'm sure he wants to forget about Superman 4. And he was also in Village of the Damned. He was in the remake to Rear Window back in, I believe, 2000.
Is he the one that got knocked off the horse?
He is the one that got knocked off the horse. Yes, a 6 foot plus 200-pound guy probably should not be riding on the back of a horse, and tragedy happened. So yes, Christopher Reeve did play Superman, and he was, and actually there were a few people that they had ahead of him, but they turned it down. James Caan turned it down. Robert Redford turned it down, and Paul Newman also turned it down as well. So Christopher Reeve it was. And
Did he like play Superman?
ooh, I wish I read more. I'm just gonna assume that he did.
Which one didn't like playing the superhero because that's what they got considered as all the time?
I know Adam West when he played Batman. Unfortunately, he didn't get any roles after that because he played it so well. He wasn't able to get any other parts. So that's one possibility. There might have been some other ones. I don't really know that much. Could it have been Chris Hemsworth that played Thor?
Hmm. He's in more than just that.
He is, but I thought it's mostly like superhero type of roles, though. Oh, I don't know. I guess I'd have to read up more on that. As far as I know, I think he liked playing Superman, but that I guess that is true. He didn't really do too much else besides that. But I don't know. I guess I'll have to read up on that. But apparently, he did not like Marlon Brando playing his dad. I guess he called him lazy. So that was an interesting read on that. I would not have thought Marlon Brando would be well. Since we're naming actors, yes, the late Marlon Brando is in this. He plays Superman's father, Jor El. So Marlon Brando, we know him from The Godfather. He was in Apocalypse Now. So he is a very well respected.
No.
Yeah, he's a very well respected actor. So
Not really. I'm not even here.
so when I read that Christopher Reeve said he was lazy, I was a little bit surprised. And yes, we also have the late Gene Hackman playing Lex Luthor. And he really shouldn't need any introduction. He was.
Okay, you already know I don't know who he is because I asked him who he was, but I found out he died.
Well, he was in. Where do I start? Obviously, he was in Superman 2, Superman 4. I don't believe he was in 3. He was in Behind Enemy Lines. He was in Crimson Tide, The Poseidon Adventure. None of these. Runaway Jury. You've seen him in Runaway Jury.
I don't know what that is.
Mississippi's Burning. The Birdcage.
Nope.
And he was in several other movies. There's just a huge long line of them, so I'm not going to get through all of those. And then we also do have Glenn Ford, who plays Jonathan Kent. I actually just found out about him, but I don't remember any movies that he was in. But he is a very, very well-known actor. And then James McClure.
Well-known actor that you don't know anything.
Well, he was an older actor at this time, so he was in a lot of movies I haven't heard of. But he was in he was in a lot. Let's put it that way. I just haven't seen any of them. Well, it is, and then there's Margaret Kidder, who played Lois Lane.
You don't like her?
I wish they could have picked anybody else. Carrie Fisher would have been better.
She did.
But so is Margaret Kidder. This movie is just one big obituary. So,
I know this.
so even the director Richard Donner also passed away. So,
So Gene Hackman, the last one.
yeah. Wait. Well, the guy who plays Jimmy is still alive. We'll get to him because he plays a minor role, but he's pretty good in it.
He plays a minor role.
Yeah, Jimmy wasn't in this that much. He was in it enough,
And he's
but
Superman's best friend. After Lex Luthor.
well, Jimmy had a bigger role in the New Adventures of Superman with Dean Cain, but in these movies, not so much. So, anyways,
Yeah,
so
Supergirl.
so Margaret Kidder was in Amityville Horror. Oh, and Skip is my guest. He's pretty much nodding off because he didn't like Margaret Kidder either. She played a small role in Maverick. She was in all the other Superman movies, but I know she had her own issues. But I wish they just would have picked a different Lois Lane. So, anyway, so Superman pretty much. I'll go into the whole story here, as his wonderful planet is going to blow up. So his parents decide to save him.
The baby.
Well, yes, as a baby, yes. Then they have their and they have their baby, and they're going to send him off. They're going to save him. Hopefully, he will arrive at planet Earth. So,
his cousin who got lost in space.
well,
Lots of years.
yes. So they send him off to planet Earth. Eventually, he does get there. So in 1938, Krypton blows up. He arrives at Earth in 1951. And
That's a long time.
it's a long time, yes.
And he's still a baby and all this.
Well, he's probably 3. I don't know how that works.
So he's still a baby.
It is still a baby, but so as a toddler, he winds up in Smallville. Of course, we all know his farm, and the Kents find him, and he happens to at an early age, they see that he has superpowers because the father is fixing their car, and this little 3-year-old lifts the car up so it doesn't smash the bejeebers out of his father. So. so they know at an early age that they have something special here. So then it shows Clark. They show football players clashing, so you think that Clark is part of the football team. He is not. He is the glorified water boy. They don't want him using his powers for, let's just say, an unfair advantage. So they.
Also, you don't point out.
No, yeah, well, that too. So he does. They do show him with super speed. The fact that he chases a train or outruns a train to get to the other end of town. So
He doesn't run. He flies.
no, I will show the clip to prove it. All right, so Richard Donner apparently has to know the difference between the Flash and Superman. Apparently, he does not. And well, now since I mentioned Richard Donner, I might as well just say that he did the movie Maverick. He did the Lethal Weapon movies, just to name a few. So there he is doing Superman now.
Yeah, get back to the story.
All right. So,
Fix your lines some more.
oh my God. So his father, unfortunately, does have a heart attack. Yeah, not all heart attacks happen at the Ford plant. So he has one. He has one on the farm playing with the family dog. So then eventually Clark does move on from Smallville and goes to Metropolis. And he is a news reporter for the Daily Planet. And Jackie Cooper plays Perry. Perry, who is let's just say the boss that rules with an iron fist. And he plays this part incredibly well. He's a very tough boss, and it does show how he kind of hurries up to get everybody out so they can do their little stories, and he wants the biggest ones, which is what you're supposed to do in that profession. So Clark is this, I don't know, you want to say clumsy, just an average guy, I guess, but he...
He's clumsy, but he has superpowers.
Yeah, well, I guess he wanted to make himself as opposite of what he normally is, so... But really, all his disguise is a shirt, a tie.
A pair of glasses that doesn't let his powers come out.
Yes. Yes, so a pair of glasses is his disguise. Hey, why not? So, so anyways, yes, it is a great disguise for the Hollywood world. But the comic book people love him, so we will take it easy. So so moving on. So
Yeah, I don't like this.
you don't?
No.
All right. So Lex Luthor, who is the villain in this, played by Gene Hackman, and I did forget to mention that Ned Beatty plays his little sidekick Otis.
Who the hell's an Otis?
He's his little sidekick. He is definitely the comic relief in this movie. That is for sure. He's Lex Luthor's partner, if you want to call him that. He is an idiot. All right, so the first little scene here is of Superman is when he does save Lois Lane from a gunman, and he catches the bullet. No. What do you mean I changed? Yeah, the first clip of him being Superman is him pretty much it's catching a bullet in midair and saving Lois Lane. So Now, I will finally show a clip of the beginning of this movie of when little Clark here is being saved. So I will show you that in just a second.
Have you?
That's a pod.
Well, this is the very apparently drawn out scene. The planet is going to blow up. You would think that sorry, I almost said Keanu Reeves. Christopher Reeve was right here. Maybe Marlon Brando was lazy. He was taking his dear old sweet time to save his child from a planet blowing up. You would think he would grab him, put him in the pod, press a button, the thing would shoot out, but oh no, he took his time, he did this, got some pretzels, put it in his mouth, went to the bathroom a couple times, and then he finally sent his child off. But as much as I was gonna say how good this movie was, this beginning scene was really drawn out. I mean, it really took a long time, and I honestly must have went to the bathroom or something because I thought that they just showed the baby being rescued, the pod goes up in outer space, and the planet blows up. No, they actually showed what happened
Did you
to.
take the dog for a walk at that point?
No,
That probably would have been the whole scene if you taking the dog for a walk.
no, that would have made sense. I don't know how I forgot about people falling and burning and dying. I don't know how I forgot about that, but I did. So, anyways, I'm sure Warner Brothers is going to slap on a big fat copyright on me. So,
Oh, blah.
or a block. So I might have some trimming to do tomorrow. So I will show the next clip of him going to Smallville, and I will show you with the wonderful Kent farming family. And I will show you that in just a second. So this is obviously little. Oh great, I forgot. Oh yes, his, how do we say it?
Yeah.
Krypton name, Kryptonian name is Kyle, I think.
Cal.
Oh, it's actually okay, fine.
I think
It's Kale.
Cal.
It is.
Cal. Well,
Yeah. So, yes, that is his Kryptonian name. So, I like to call him Little Clark. So, obviously, he is found by the Kents when he is driving his truck. I hope it's not a Ford, but obviously it is because it breaks. So, of course, they have Little Clark with them, and the truck is about to fall on him, like I said, and he picks it up. So now they know, like I said, they have a special child. I just figured I would show you the clip because I know this is 1978, but this did, I believe, it was at least nominated, but I think it did win special. I think it did win Best Special Effects. This did win some awards. So that is the clip I will show you, and I was right. He was chasing a train. So I will show you that clip. So I will show you now Clark as a teenager, and he is unfortunately trying to get with the probably the quarterback's girlfriend. It would probably work too, but again, he was hiding his superpowers. So being in a town like Smallville, you could probably get away with it. Metropolis would be a little bit harder. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
He's an idiot.
Well, this is Clark here. Obviously, I guess he decided to race a train. So he did. So he did seem to outrun it, and I guess maybe they should get their superheroes straightened out because he was running instead of flying. But I'm almost positive Superman can do all things, since he does freeze things. He does do lasers. He does X-ray. I know that I get the Flash runs, but apparently he does too. But he also does fly, yes. So I will now show the next clip where he is now at the Daily Planet. And we get to see the talentless Margaret Kidder in action as Lois Lane with Jimmy and Clark. And of course, Perry. So we get to see all of them in action in just a second.
There's only one P in Ravens. Lois Lane, say hello to Clark Kent. Both work with him.
Remember my dynamite expose? Remember?
Hey, do it. Jimmy Olsen, photographer. All right. Okay, that's good.
So everything's exactly the bomb that the other one.
Yeah, show us a lady rest.
Okay, well, this is the whole crew here. Jimmy's got the cute little bow tie, and he is the, I guess you want to call him the gopher. He gets the coffee, he does this, he does that. He corrects Lois Lane's spelling problems that she apparently has, or this is just Margaret Kidder as her real self, not knowing how to spell anything. And I bet you those are probably her lines on the piece of paper because she couldn't remember them either. So, Clark is now introduced. Obviously, he is very tall, so I guess the glasses are the only thing that is his disguise. So there's everybody together, and I guess we didn't really have Perry's personality, that he's only paying Jimmy $20 a week. So that is $40 a week? I thought he said 20. All right, well, apparently $40 a week. Back then, it may not have been that bad. So now I will show the clip here of when Lois's purse is in jeopardy, but it's probably okay. She probably can't count the money she has in her purse, anyways. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
Times are tough for some these days, but this isn't the answer. You can't solve society's problems with a gun.
You know something, buddy? You're right. I'm gonna turn over a new leaf.
Good for you, sir. That's the spirit. See, he doesn't really want to hurt anybody.
After I rip off this lady's purse.
Of course.
Now come on, lady, hand it over.
You better.
Lois, what are you doing?
Are you alright, Clark? What happened?
I guess I must have fainted.
Fainted. You fainted.
Sorry.
Well, I don't see what the obsession is here with Lois. I don't. I don't really think she's really anything special. She can't spell. She doesn't know anything. And now apparently that bad guy wants her purse. I would have just given it to him. It would have been funny. But anyways, this is what Clark does. He doesn't really want his cover blown, so he catches the bullet and then just pretends that he faints. And does Lois appreciate it? No. How could she not know what happened? Because the bullet is pointed right at her back. She probably saw it with her stupid eye slanting to the left side, and she probably wondered how the guy missed. It's because Superman caught the bullet. So instead of thanking Clark, she then just kind of just brushes him aside. Now, he did surprise her when he knew exactly what was in her purse, and he did that with his X-ray vision. Lois would probably spell that wrong as well. So, anyways, I will show the next scene where Lois forgets to fasten her seatbelt in a helicopter, and disaster happens. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
Excuse me. That's a bad outfit. God, look up there. Easy, miss. I've got you.
You got me. Who's got you? I can't believe it.
Well, here's the famous part with the helicopter. You're missing the beginning parts to this where she was screaming annoyingly, and I don't know how. I think she actually won Best Actress for this movie. And
Wow.
I don't know. It must have been a really bad year for actresses. Because, to be honest, Lois is driving me nuts. I don't know what the obsession is with this lady. She gets worse in every single clip. Please comment. Please. Because she's actually worse than I thought. Like, I was just going to make just minor little Margaret Kidder jokes. But I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. She sucks. I mean, couldn't they have?
I want my dollar.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Family friendly.
But they say worse than The Simpsons, and families watch that together now. It's the new thing.
Not my point.
Well, that used to be a much worse word. Now everybody uses it. So, anyways, I know this is a family-friendly show, but things have changed a little bit. I think that word slides now.
No, it is not.
Oh, right. Okay, fine.
I want
So,
my dollar.
anyways, please comment below because I actually thought that Terry Hatcher was a really good Lois Lane in the New Adventures of Superman, but I really would like comments from Margaret Kidder because I think she's a terrible Lois Lane. I really think Richard Donner could have got somebody else to play Lois. Anybody would have been fine. So I will now show the part with Lex Luthor. I almost said Luger by accident. And the very funny Otis, played by Ned Beatty. So I will show you that scene in just a second.
Him! You want him, Mr. Luthor? No. There you go, him.
M as in moron notice? No, it's N.
Oh.
N as in Neanderthal. Income. Nitwit. And L as in ladder.
This ladder, Mr. Luthor, coming right up. I did this, President. I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor. In the interview, he says that
Here is the part here with Mr. Luthor and Otis. And obviously, Lex Luthor is trying to find out more information on Superman. And he does know that kryptonite is lethal to him. But Otis decides to move the ladder when the good old Lex Luthor is on the bookshelf. So he's just sort of just hanging out. And then he yells at Otis. And then when he does bring the ladder back, he steps on his hand. So this is Ned Beatty playing the comic relief. And like I've said before, we have seen Ned Beatty play Dean Martin in the movie Back to School. and then playing the really nasty character in the movie Rudy, playing Rudy's really kind of unsupportive father. So here he is playing a comic character. So Ned Beatty does have some really good acting ability from what it does show. And this is Lex Luthor as a rich and very smart criminal. So that has uh so I mean that really does have lethal capabilities written all over it. So I will show one more clip here, and this is Lex Luthor finding Kryptonite and meeting Superman face to face. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
I'll mold this box to your prison bar. Don't touch it.
That does it. That's kryptonite, Superman. Little souvenirs in the old hometown. I've spared no expense to make you feel right at home. Junior Chips. Diseased maniac would be your banker. Mind over muscle.
You don't even care where the other missile's headed, do you?
Certainly I do. I know exactly where he's headed. Hackensack, New Jersey.
Well, this is a good way to bait Superman. So he's got two missiles, one going to California to San Andreas, so that would just blow it right up. I don't think anybody really cares about California anymore. And then the other one's going to New.
People that live there that have to try to survive now.
Oh well, I wasn't talking about the wildfires. I meant as expensive. And then the other one is going to New Jersey, and nobody cares about New Jersey. Well, they don't. So so obviously this is the last clip that I'm going to show, and so obviously the kryptonite is very lethal to Superman as it shows here, but I am not going to show the ending. Does he get out of it? Well, there's other Superman movies, so obviously he does, but I'm not going to show you what happens. So Superman as a whole here, I want to know what people do think of this movie. I know somebody's not too fond of it. All right. But does this movie stand up to the test of time? This came out in 1978, and yes, sorry to say, in the newspaper it did get 4 stars. So, and this is a superhero movie that actually did win awards. What I really do question is I do believe from what I read, Margaret Kidder did win Best Actress, and somehow Christopher Reeve got the pass as best actor. So I actually liked Christopher Reeve. I liked his performance in this a lot.
He's fine. I just don't like it.
Margaret Kidder, I would push her aside.
I don't like it.
So I would have put her in the water with a chain, and I would have locked Superman up so he could not get to her. So anyways, but as this movie as a whole, I actually really did enjoy this. Gene Hackman's performance was very well as Lex Luthor. I liked Otis. Okay, so obviously, yes, Gene Hackman played the part well. Otis played the part well. The guy who played Perry, Jackie Cooper, played that part well. I liked Jimmy a lot. Even I know I didn't show him a lot in the clips, but I thought he was sort of a comic relief as well. Clark Kent's parents, I liked them. And even though the parts at the beginning were a little bit drawn out, I thought they played those parts well too. So the cast overall was very, very well, except for one. So I'll let that slide. But if I had to grade this, like I said, the cast was well. The acting I thought was incredibly well. I thought the special effects were were actually great, especially for 1978. So overall, I am going to give this movie an A minus as a grade. I know somebody's going to disagree with me. Somebody might even say, some people might even say I'm being too harsh with the grade. The only reason why it's getting an A minus is because of Margaret Kidder. So, I mean, really, do I recommend seeing this movie? Absolutely. Uh,
I wouldn't either.
I do recommend people that are a little bit older to. I hate to sound old right now, but
Well, you are old.
but people that have probably enjoyed this movie are older than I am, so they probably have grandkids. So they'll be showing their grandkids this movie. Ooh, ooh, that's bad. My grandparents showed me black and white movies, so people will be showing their grandchildren this movie. That's kind of depressing to think of, but that's kind of the way it is. So I honestly do recommend that they watch this because the because I mean this is really what they should. I've seen some of the newer Superman stuff, and it's just not as good. Now the new Adventures of Superman with Dean Cain are really good, and Terry Hatcher playing Lois is much better. So anyways, comment below, subscribe if you want to, and thank you for watching.